Next, I have to start with the CSS part for this particular tip calculator application. So for that, we need to use the standard CSS file. And instead of this particular file, first we need to select the body selector, which is the main selector. So inside of the body, we need to use the font family because we are going to change the font. So I will be using here a Arial Helvetica font, which I use mostly in many of the applications. Control save it, then you can see the font is now changed. After that, I need to here change the background color. So the background color I will be using here like 4F and it's like 4657. So this will be the color that I will be used for the background. And after that, I will be here resetting the margin to 0 and also the padding to 0. Control save it, then you can see down the padding and the margin is reset. Okay, so that is for all the code inside the body element. After that, we need to specify the code inside the container. And inside of the container, first we need to specify the max width. So max width is going to be 500 pixel. And then we need to provide the margin property. So margin is going to like 150 pixel, and from left and right it is going to auto. So you can see now the content is actually shifted to the center of the browser. Alright, and after that we need to here use the padding property. So padding is going to like 20 pixel. And then I need to provide here a background color. So background color, this is one. So it is going to like 25, 25 and 25, which is a like little bit of the black and combination of gray. And then we need to add the here border radius property. So border radius I will be using here 8 pixels. And then I need to provide here a box shadow. So box shadow is going to like 0 pixel, 4 pixels, and the blurriness is going to like 10 pixel. Then I need to provide the RGBA value, which is 0, 0, 0, and the alpha is going to like 0.4. Then you can see now it's having this little bit of the 3D look to this particular tip calculator. Okay, so after the container code, we need to actually select the H1 element. Inside of the H1 element, first we need to change the text alignment. So we need to set the text alignment to center, and then we need to change the color. So color, we are going to display the white one because the background is darker. That is the reason we want to display the color to black. Then we need to provide the padding. From bottom means we want to actually provide some padding to bottom, which is like 20 pixel. Alright, and then I want to here provide the margin bottom property. So margin bottom is going to like 30 pixel. And after that we want to provide the like border bottom, because we want to provide the border bottom property just because we want to display this particular line. So that is the reason we have to provide here a property called border bottom. So we want a 2 pixel border of a solid, and then we want to provide the color. So color is going to be hashtag F2F2. If I control save it, then you can see now the border is applied. If you just want to decrease the size, you just need to remove the like 20 pixel, or I can just go with this one, which is a padding. You can see now the line is actually moved, which is a border bottom, but I want to just do it with the 20 pixel. It looks great. Okay, and if I just reduce the window size of the Visual Studio Code, so after the code inside the H1 element, we need to style the other element, which is the input group, which is the main group. If you actually see inside the index.html, you can see this is the first, second, third and fourth. So these are the 4 input groups that we want to style. So it is a class selector, so we need to use the dot and then the name of the input, which is the input group. And instead of that, we need to provide the property, which is margin bottom, which is 20 pixel. You can see now there is a margin is applied to all of these particular elements. Then we need to provide here an input group, and then we need to provide here a label. Inside of that, we need to provide the display block, and after that we need to provide the margin bottom property to 10 pixel. And here we need to provide the color, which is like hashtag FFF. So this is the color that will be used for the labels. And then we need to add here the font weight. So font weight, we want to increase the font weight to bold. Okay, so now it's become bold, the labels. So that is all for the input group label. The next we need to actually select the again input group, and inside of that we need to select the input elements, which is this one, these input elements, and also we need to select the select element. So again we are going to use the input group, and then we need to select the select tag, and then we need to start the block of the code. Inside of that we need to specify the width. So width is going to like 94%, and then we need to provide the padding. So padding is going to like 12 pixel. Control save it, then you can see now the padding is changed and also the width. But there is a problem in this particular select one. Don't worry, we're going to fix it. First we need to provide the style for this entire code structure, which is this input group input and input group select. After that we need to provide the font size property. So font size is going to like 16 pixel. Then the border property. So border is going to like 2 pixel. Solid, and then here we need to provide the C50752. So this will be the color code we are going to use for the border. Then we want a rounded border. So for that we need to use the border radius property. So border radius is going to 5 pixel. Okay, then we want to actually change the colors. So we actually want to here provide the background color. So the background color, we're going to use it like this particular one, which is hash symbol 2525, state 25 and 25. Now you can see the color is actually changed, which is like almost similar color to this particular body element, means this particular container, means the same color that we have used inside the container element. Okay, after that applying the border color, then we want to apply the font color, means we want to change the font color. So for that we need to use the font property. So if I enter the text here, if I enter here number, then you can see now it's become white. Okay, so this is what we actually want to do here. Now we need to fix this particular issue, because right now these are not same, having the same width like this one. So for that we need to again select the input select group, means input group select, and then we need to here provide the width property. So this is going to override the width, so we are going to provide here 100% width. Now you can see all of them having the same dimension width. Now we need to actually remove this arrow that in the part of the beginning preview, in the preview part I told you, and also we want to implement this particular effect, because in the final version you can see there is no arrows. So we want to remove these arrows as well, and also we want to change this particular focus state of the input elements. So for that we have to write some more code to this particular input group elements. So first here we need to select the input group, then we need to select the input, and then we need to here use the pseudo classes. So it is like WebKit and web. So we need to type it here entire WebKit. Then we need to use the outer spin button. So this is the outer spin button, and then again we need to call here for the WebKit inner spin button. So it is like dot. Again we need to use here a dot input group, and again we need to select the input, then dot symbol, then again we need to use the WebKit, which is inner spin button. Then we need to select the entire code, and then we need to here use the WebKit again. So WebKit, and it is actually for the appearance, so we need to type here a WebKit. So it is like appearance, and then we need to provide the none. So after specifying the web appearance none, then you can see the content is actually changed, means the arrow is actually gone. Alright, and after that we need to specify the code for this appearance of the text field, means the focus state of this input type. So for that we need to again select the input, so input group, and then here we need to select the input, and then at this point of time we want to use the focus pseudo class. So focus, and here we need to provide the outline to none, and then we need to change the border color. So border color, so the border color we are going to use here as symbol 7E, and this is the color I have actually noted into my notepad. So this will be the color. So if I now hover over it, then you can see it's actually now changing. Alright, you can see it is actually changing. This is what we actually want to implement. Also we want to apply the same effect to the select one. So here we need to specify the comma, and specify the comma, and then you need to add here like dot input group, and then to select the select, which is a select tag, and then the focus. Save it, then this will be applied to the selection one also. Okay, so that is for the code for the input type and the selection types. Now the next we need to actually style the result elements. So for that we need to here use the result because it is a class. So again we need to use the dot and the name of the selector. Then the first thing is we need to provide the margin top property, which is 30 pixel, and then we need to provide the border top property because we want to display this particular line like divisions. So for that we need to use the border top property. So again we am going to use here a 2 pixel solid border, and then I will be providing the color, which is F2, F2 and F2. Save it. If I save it, then I think the class is not applied, I think. So maybe there is a problem in the result section. So this is the result. If I come back to the style.css, it is actually the result margin top. I've added the border top 2 pixel solid border, but it is not visible. Okay, so let me first complete the code because we need to add here I think a padding property. So padding from top is like 20 pixel. So actually it is not visible here. Okay, so the border is actually not coming here if I enter here a like different code like border. So here actually I made a typo in the spelling name. It's like a solid. That is the reason the border is not coming here. So you can see now the problem is fixed because I have made a spelling mistake in the solid. Okay, now the border is coming. Now the next we need to actually style this h1 element, which is the heading element, means the h2 element, a heading element. So under the result, we want to select the h2 element and we want to change its style. So the first thing is we want to provide the margin bottom property, which is 15 pixel, and then we want to provide the border like border. Now we want to provide the color because right now it is actually appearing black, so we want to provide the white color. Now you can see the color is changed. Actually the color is not applied. Actually we have used here a counter reset. We need to here use the color. So this is the color code. Now the color is changed, and after that we need to provide the code for these divisions, like these all divisions code. Okay, so we need to select the result again, and under that we need to select the division element. Instead of that we need to select the margin bottom. So margin bottom is going to like 10 pixel. Okay, so just open our own version of the application. If I just enter here some dummy text in, so that we can see some output here. Okay, so these are the things that we want to style. Coming back to the style.css, and here we need to provide the color because we want to display it in the white because the background is dark. Alright, so that is for the division. Now the last thing, we need to actually provide the code for this button. So for that we need to use the hash symbol because we have specified the ID to the button, which is an ID selector. So here I will be using the padding. So from top and bottom I will be providing 12 pixel, and from left and right it is going to be 20 pixel. And you can see the size of the button is changed. Then we need to provide the background color. So background color is going to be like C50752. This will be the color used for the background. Then we are going to use the border radius property. So border radius is going to like 5 pixel. Then we want to remove the border. So border is going to be none. And then we want to change the color. So color is going to be like white color. You can see here. And then we also need to change the cursor property. So cursor is going to be like pointer, and we want to apply the transition property. So transition property we want to apply to the background color. So this is the transition property, and actually want to remove the colon. So this is the background color, and it is going to be for 0.3s is when we are going to use it. Then we need to provide the hover state to this particular button. So here I will be closing the code for the button and then colon, and then it is going to be the hover. So this is for the background color, and then they have symbol 031b. Control save it, and if I hover over the button, then you can see now the color is changed. Also, we have to apply the style to all of these division elements. Now I'm going to remove all of these particular text because it is not required anymore, because we are going to update this particular content by using the JavaScript. Okay, so now we have done with the designing part of the tip calculator application. In the next part, we are going to start with the JavaScript part.